This is the way.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to This is the Waypoint, the one show here on Shared Screens where we talk all things Star Wars, and oh my god, does it feel good to be back talking about The Mandalorian. Today we are talking about Season 3, Episode 1, Chapter 17, The Apostate. I got Alec. I was about to read that as Austin because Zencaster, I got Alec, I got Jordan, and I got my man Jim Tasty. How we doing today, guys?
Good.
Doing good.
I got my lights as the best lightsaber color right now.
Hell
There you
yeah!
go. There you go.
I decided to take a
all
break
about
from being a little strand boy to talk about some Mando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm your host today. Some other Josh, of course. Young Christopher Rumblepack went to be an officer for the New Republic. But we'll get into
Special
that a little bit.
forces.
Special forces, exactly. Full spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen the episode, what the hell are you doing here? Get out, go watch it. Oh my god! But if you have seen the episode, welcome. Consider maybe hitting the like button. Subscribing. Let's get into it. Just our general thoughts, top down on the episode. Alec, you want to start us off?
Ooh, let me just start off and say Ludwig was in his Duffy this episode. Like, dude was just composing his ass off. Like,
yeah, man.
That little, like, just the variance on, like, the theme, like, during the title sequence, and then that whole segment during the space battle when he was fighting against the pirates was just chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And then, yeah, just good to see Grogu and Mando back together again. Like, the amount of times the subtitles just says Grogu coos was just like, just
right.
A little warm, fuzzy feeling.
Exactly.
So, really enjoyed this episode. So, like I've seen some people say on Twitter, glad to have Pedro Pascal have a show kind of like offset each other, have really hit the feels with The Last of Us, but then really have that feel-good show with Mandalorian.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Jordan, how you feeling on this one?
I really liked it. I'm not going to lie and say, I am a little worried about this season overall. I personally don't like the way they brought Grogu back in a different show that not necessarily everybody watched, and it takes that impact away from the season 2 finale. But this episode, is good, and I'm excited to see where they go with this, and I hope that any fears I have are quelled by the end of the season. But I mean, it's nice to be back, like Alex said. It's nice to be back in this corner of the Star Wars universe. And, I can't get enough of Carl Weathers either.
Hell yeah. Brett, how you feeling on this episode, my man?
Yeah, it was good to be back. It's crazy that it's been technically 2 years since Mandalorian season 2 ended. Again, like the whole Book of Boba thing was so like interesting, weird that they chose to do that. But yeah, I'm glad we're back. But so I binged the show like the last couple days and Boba, some of the Boba episodes, and it's kind of weird how like I guess it's just like the kind of the show, but it's like all of like the sidetracking. I'm like, why didn't you just fly to Mandalore right now and just check it out for yourself? Like you're getting like inscriptions, you're hearing traveler's tales. I'm like, just go, man, check it out yourself. Going to get a robot that come on, just buy a new one, program it.
Yeah, that was a interesting choice because like I'm not making it up. That was the robot from the pilot episode, right?
Yeah, season 1. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
YTT himself.
And that one was programmed to kill Grogu, wasn't it? Or was it programmed to protect him?
Yes.
Initially, yeah.
Then it was reprogrammed. But so that's why you saw it. Like it was like essentially like it was friendly to Din Djarin, Grogu and all that once they reprogrammed him.
Okay, so I completely forgot they reprogrammed him because I was like, what do you mean that's the one you trust? Unless I'm misremembering the pilot and it was there to protect him and he was going to leave Grogu with the robot because he doesn't want to take him on the mission.
No, this was the end of, what was it, season 1, where they were fighting Moff Gideon.
Gotcha.
Right, yeah. We'll come back to that a little bit later because, my God, I got some thoughts. But overall, I'm so happy. I sat down. I put it on 37 minutes. This episode is,
Dude,
and,
yeah, I'm expecting like 50 minutes, man.
Right?
What the heck?
exactly. I was expecting
fit
the
a lot
exact same
in
thing,
for this
and
episode.
I was nervous. I was like 37 minutes, not even including credits, and then my God, the pace throughout. I thought that was incredible. We got a lot in the 37 minutes, and when we spent the first 5 minutes on like a monster battle, I was like. I was a little hesitant, and I was like, "Is this a flashback? Are we seeing?"
I
Din
thought
get
it was
his
a
helmet?
flashback too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then
And
the
they definitely did that on purpose.
Oh yeah.
100%, 100%. Then the music swells in. The N1 starfighter out of the sky blasting torpedoes in this thing. I thought that was incredible. 'Cause I feel like a lot of our fears are that monster of the week type situation, and when it was like immediately like fighting a new monster, I was little worried. But we all love this thing? Did we all like this fight? Was it a little too
Oh, of
much?
course.
It was
Oh,
cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool to see all the Mandalorians, like, they're growing their numbers. We love to see that.
Right.
Because in, again, Book of Boba Fett, there's just 2 of them. So I'm like,
Yeah.
like, dang, man, this
But
is a clan now with 2.
Right.
Do we love to see it being this Mandalorian, these Mandalorians, or do we want to see it more on the Bo-Katan side?
I mean, right now we haven't seen them be evil yet, so I'm still not completely out on them. I mean, you're just not allowed to take your helmet off. So, if you're ugly like me, then that's a good thing. So,
handsome as fuck, dude. Come on.
so yeah, like, I mean, I'm not completely out on them yet. Like, I'm not opposed, or I'm not like, I wouldn't be surprised if later on they're like, and the big bad was the armor the whole time, and you're like, what? Like, I could see that, but I mean, I think Din's devotion to the Creed is more harmful than the actual group themselves so far.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, Brett, when you saw that the helmet in the beginning was blue, at any point did you think it was Jango Fett?
Again, another clone. Words, we haven't said the final word yet on that.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, there was a scene. Everyone's shooting this thing, right? The fights, divulging into chaos. People are trapped under the water. Armor's down. One dude off to the right hand side, just cold cocking this thing with a handgun. Looked very Django-esque, and I was like, oh my, is this a little nod? Is this a little reference? Like, what are we doing here? You're just using like one single like blaster, kind of Django style. Very much looked like when he uses single blaster. And
this monster does a legit like alligator crocodile like death roll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very Monster Hunter-esque. But we get out of this fight, and immediately we go right to the setup of the season. We're looking to get into the ruins of Mandalore, the redemption arc for Din Djarin. I thought the conversation between the armorer and him was incredible, and I think it gives the season a little bit more purpose. Where like season 1 was him getting Grogu and then dealing with the fallout and repercussions of that, and then season 2 was a little bit more like, well, we're gonna wander aimlessly and see if we can find his people until, surprise, Luke Skywalker shows up. I think having a dead set mission or goal throughout the season is going to help structure it in a way, even where like if we do wander off to some mission, we know that no matter what we're doing, we're like trying to get to the ruins of Mandalore. That is our end goal, right? So everything is going to build into that, which we do see when we go to Navarro looking to get a crew. How do we feel about all this?
It was interesting seeing it like so lively and like not a desolate planet. Like a whole Carl Weathers character just saying how they want to be like, or are aiming to be the first independent trade system. That was really cool because you only hear about, oh, we're for the Empire, the Republic, the New Republic, whatever. It's cool to see some people actually rallying together to actually build something to be separate from everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess that would be
gentrified the fuck out of that place.
Right.
Dude,
yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Pirates aren't welcome anymore, man. It's a shame. It really is.
It's a school, not a bar.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved everything with Carl Weathers here. Him offering Mando and Grogu like, "Hey, we got a spot for you, like hand up the blaster." I thought that was uh I liked that angle to it, but of course he's like, "Nah, I got something greater to work on." And then yeah, he's like, "Oh, the construction industry is booming. We're really like taking this place off." And I was like, "Honestly, I could go for like a City Skyline Star Wars edition, dude. Let me just build some independent outposts."
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Although, did you guys notice that? I think he might be getting too big for his britches, man. He had those little robots carrying his cape.
I noticed that, yeah.
He might be getting too high on himself. Literally, high magistrate. I don't know, man.
It was a little jarring when he walks down like the 3 steps to greet Mando, and the thing just clunk, clunk, like straight down. I was like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I did love the world building throughout it. Of course, Alec, you mentioned the color palette, just seeing some more, live greenery up in this joint. And then, we got the tree full of, little salacious crumb monkeys. I thought that was incredible.
They're eyeballing Grogu.
Right. He's looking to, wage war with them. And someone he did get beef with, the Babu Fricks of the island.
Yes.
So,
Love it.
glad seeing my man.
So happy, man.
I love seeing Carl or Grief Karga just bend down and like repeating every single thing. It's like, because they kind of had like almost like broken English in a way, but so like at first like Mando couldn't understand him, so that's why he started translating. But then it's like they literally had like enough good English for him to understand it. And just, like
it was like going to a mechanic of somebody like not from this country, and like you know enough. Like to quote Kevin from The Office, I say car no go and they know what I mean.
Oh yeah, that the scale of the actual workshop and seeing Din sit like cross-legged like in there while they're just working around IG-11's body, I thought that was like all incredible. Meanwhile, the Grogu's like trying to like suffocate them and starting beef and waging war.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Grogu real quick, I thought it was hilarious him just using the Force to spin them in the chair.
Spin him around in the chair, yeah. Get a little candy off of Carl Weathers' desk. Yeah, that was incredible. But yeah, of course, the one thing we're stopping on Navarro for, to build a team. We're looking to get, if we have to go to the ruins of Mandalore, we need a robot we can trust, and that robot is IG-11. And when that was the turn we were taking for the episode, I thought like, what a cool premise that we're looking for a squad to go there, and then we're looking to just revive IG-11. He was the MVP of season 1, I'd say. Him and who's the dude who Quill, yeah, those two like held it down.
Spoken.
Yeah, rest in peace.
The original meme from the show.
Right?
I don't know why he's not a meme to me, man. He is the representation.
The line.
Oh, okay.
Him, yeah, the line.
I was gonna say, he's the representation of like it ain't much, but it's honest work.
Right? Oh, yeah, exactly. And then having the conversation of like, I need a marshal, and of course we have to get her off. We have to get her up somehow. Just the line to Cara Dune. Surprising we even mentioned her at all. I'm not gonna lie, and it felt like that was like the first draft line of like, okay, we're still gonna give her her own Disney Plus show, where she's an officer, but we didn't change that. We just kept that the same, and we just canceled their show.
Yeah.
How did y'all feel about that?
I think it's one of those things where you have to remember that not the entire world is on Twitter, so there are going to be people asking about that.
Right.
So you do just kind of have to like yada it away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although, Josh, I don't know if you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp yet. Brett and Alec, I know you have. I saw a few people on Twitter wondering if the I don't know that character's name, but there's the girl rebel from Ant-Man and the Wasp in the quantum realm. People are like, yo, she could just be Cara Dune, and we just won't acknowledge that it's a new person.
No, because she was in Mandalorian already.
As who?
Was she?
Yeah, she was like the lead. She was like one of the big officers in what's his face's name?
Moff Gideon?
Yeah, Moff Gideon. He was like
no
Moff
one's
Gideon.
gonna remember that.
He was like literally. I can't remember the actress's name, but that was her. Yeah.
Right.
Again, you got to see Ant-Man 10 times in theaters.
Right.
Really? I haven't seen it once. I gotta get my numbers out there.
Hashtag get Ant-Man to $1 billion. Don't let the haters win.
Oh yeah.
But like it was like, yeah, like you said, like that was kind of like the plan anyways, right? It was, oh, she gets like promoted or she gets this offer to join the special forces of the New Republic, and yeah, they just didn't do the show. So, and yeah, it's a good way to get her like out anyways, right? So, but
right.
Me and all the Cara Dune figure collectors, man, we're eating good now.
Yeah,
20 of them, $100 a pop. Let's go, man.
You can sell them $100 to $200 a pop to weirdos who, love watching Ben Shapiro movies, because that's all she's gonna be in now. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wanted a little bit more. Like just be like, yeah. She had a freak accident with her starfighter, blew up.
I was gonna say, what if they killed her off screen?
Honestly, that's what I was hoping for. Oh, she went to Alderaan. No, I guess it's already done in this timeline. She went to Alderaan too, and it got blown up. That's
New Alderaan.
New Alderaan.
Yeah, I think this was good enough. Like, it's one of those things you don't really want to acknowledge it too much, but so you like just say this, like the line just to like, she's not showing up.
They should have had the whole episode be a memorial and funeral for Cara Dune.
Are you? Oh, they come across her statue too. They're like, oh, there's your friend. The woman with the big gun. Can we resurrect her and get her to be cool again? So she can.
What if they
mission?
What if they say that she got even bigger and they just do what they did with the mayor's assistant in the Powerpuff Girls, where we never see her face? It's always just a body right outside of the frame.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Or like Wilson from Home Improvement, like
yeah, just the
Crips in the background. Yeah, but go in there, get in the mission, having the just terrifying scene of IG-11, going to kill Grogu back to his original programming. We're just tossing this baby around like it's hot potato here, and
yeah,
we're just blast around in the ground. It felt very campy Star Wars to me, but I was there for it.
But also like kind of Terminator-esque, like this robot. It's literally just his torso up, and then he has like all these couple little arms.
Oh, IG-11 was scary, but no, Josh, I'm with you. Where I picked up on that as well. Where it's like I do sometimes think that, or sometimes I feel like they forget that it's supposed to be a kid and it's not a puppet in universe, because he just threw him. He just the way someone goes, "Oh, yo, hand me my phone, bro."
Exactly, right? Like, yeah, I feel like people would like pass a phone more delicately than a child, And this child's seen some shit. All right, this child's survived Order 66, and we're just tossing this thing around the room because IG-11's on a murderous rampage still. So I don't know. Part of me is like, of course I want them to bring him back. Like that we had that first or that one fantastic scene between him and Din Djarin of like, well, you said no living creature can see your face. Like I'm not living. Like I can like heal you here, right? And I think they have like, a pretty good bond. They're a pretty good duo in this universe. And so selfishly, I want him back. But if we don't get him back, and it's more just solo Mando, and maybe just Mando and Boba is the new dynamic duo of this universe, I'd be absolutely okay with that too. But then, yeah, moving on, we had the school scene, of course. I love Mando. Really just, we're setting in, this is Western. He leans against the tree, all like kind of Clint Eastwood style of like, I'm going to watch this unfold, pull out my blaster when necessary, in which, of course.
Exactly.
You can't drink in a school, and I like the pirate, bringing up, my boss like funded the school. Like, what do you mean? If I want to go in there and drink with kids around, I should be damn well able to. Uh, and then, Carl Weathers, badass, holding it down, still trying to go peaceful, little cowboy shootout, shoots the blaster right out of his hand. Honorable man. And then it's Din who finally cold cocks the rest of them. We're all on board. We're all loving this.
Oh yeah. I think this did a lot for Carl Weathers' character, where it showed that, like, hey, he wants to be diplomatic. He wants to run like an actual town with laws and shit. But, mess with him, and he knows how to fight back. Like, he knows when to use what side of him. And then, Din just, fucking backing him up, and them two just taking out those 4 guys. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Which, then we get the little glimpse, you're going to hear about this. It's not over just yet, right? And when we do eventually go off planet, my God, do we have one of the best space battles I think ever put on Star Wars. Of course, it's not large scale, some like the movies, but I think in terms of like one-on-one, like just fighter fights,
Yeah.
execution here is a 10 out of 10, I gotta say.
Mhm.
Like just the tension of like you see, man, because he's in the N1s, like in the modded out to hell, and it is just flying all around these asteroids, and you just see it like he disappears, and then he's like somewhere over here going behind him, and like just the
Right.
music and the sound cues in this scene are just top notch.
Oh yeah, that was like, I think this was like the standout moment of the episode for me too, for exactly what you mentioned. Like he comes out of one asteroid on the left, we track him all the way through the shot while he just blows up a single ship, and then he's immediately like back in the asteroid field with the sound cue and everything, and just hiding again.
Yeah, man. Mando's taking notes from the greatest Mandalorian ever.
I figured it was going to come sooner or later.
Yeah.
He
just needs to get the seismic charges to get the best sound in Star Wars.
Right.
I know. I think there's the best, definitely the best like space battle of the show for sure, because we've gotten a couple here and there, and yeah, just like the evolution of the character in terms of like the his ship as being an extension of himself, right? Like he had the big hulking Razor Crest, and now he has a vehicle more suited for like space combat and traversal versus Razor Crest. It could carry like a bunch of
the bounties.
Yeah, so yeah, It was super cool. It looked great too. Yeah, and then that I think that was like some sort of separatist ship or whatever. It reminded me of Admiral Trench's like ship a little bit. From the Clone Wars, so that looks super cool.
Which, yeah, similar to Trench, we just have just this beastly looking dude at the helm of the ship, just this swamp thing looking ass.
He looked like Davy Jones, bro, from Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like, is that a species? Is he like a plant or something? Like,
oh yeah,
it did look like just seaweed for his beard.
Yeah, I thought he looked kind of like a swamp thing from DC.
Yeah, which honestly, just given the small interaction we've had between him and Mando, I would love for him to come back. Honestly, like this is one we can put him on a shelf for a bit, and just whenever we need
like a mid-season villain.
Yeah, whenever we just need someone to like antagonize him a little bit, just bring him back, and just have this as an ongoing thing. Not gonna lie, little disappointed it wasn't Hondo from Clone Wars. That's the big baddie. We know he's still out there. He's like sold in all the Galaxy Edge like Resistance sets, but still would be cool to like not only see him make that jump to live action like a lot of the other characters, but also,
I mean, if they are talking pirates, it's only a matter of time.
Right.
Eventually.
I'd love to see him. And then from there, we're going straight to Bo-Katan.
Before that, shout out to the Rebels reference that they had with the hyperspace whale things.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, Purgles. Yeah.
I forgot their name.
I thought I was going to
It's
see
fun.
Ezra surfing on one of them. And Thrawn and Ezra surfing.
Yeah, I didn't know what those were. I was like, are those supposed to be like mermaids or something?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
they're basically, think of them as like whales that can travel through hyperspace. Like that's how, if I'm remembering Rebels correctly, I think that's how people like learned hyperspace.
That's
like thousands of
wild.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, was kind of expecting a sea turtle from Finding Nemo to come out. And be like, "So, dude, where are you looking to go, man?" You know,
I was just
like-
smoking that pirate's fur, bro.
But like seeing those like whales, it's like, it's just for me, it's like being a Rebels fan. It's like how cool it was just knowing that's like, okay, cool. So they are really like trying to connect these like more.
Mhm.
right.
Because we have, rumors are Ahsoka is going to be coming the second half of 2023. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
having those kind of dropping those a bit, just
Yeah.
uh,
And like the fact that like we didn't even need to, try to bust out the CG and the budget and try to like make real in-depth models. The fact that we can just get a silhouette of them, during a transitional scene, I think is
Mhm.
like really elevating the game in terms of like we can start throwing in more subtle nods, fleshing out this universe a little
Exactly.
bit more, doing more with the time spent, traveling, right? So I'm like that was one of those
if
things.
you know, or if you know kind of things.
Exactly, that fleshes out the worlds and makes like it a lot more meaningful to travel throughout Star Wars galaxy and travel to one of the Mandalore systems. Go visit Bo-Katan. I loved this exchange.
Oh
between-
yeah. The fact when you are sitting there and you're the only one in a throne room and you're sitting on the throne like badass, like leg
right,
up,
dude.
and you're just watching them come towards you.
Mhm.
Like, oh my gosh, such a cool scene.
Will never not
And
be
the-
badass.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Somebody made a meme of what's the bad guy's name from Skyrim? The Jarl. Remember how they sit in Skyrim? They're doing the
Oh,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
yeah.
It looks a little more goofy in Skyrim because it's like an older game now. So
Right.
I was like, let's go, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, but this whole exchange in terms of like, I need to get back to the ruins of Mandalore. Will you help me? What about your homies? And she's like, well, I came back empty-handed, with no Darksaber, dude. They went off to just be mercenaries. You have the thing still. Go flash and wave it in front of them. Rule them yourself. I like that.
What's the rule on challenging for the Darksaber? Because Paz Vizsla did it in Book of Boba Fett. He lost, but he didn't get killed. So if I was Bo-Katan, I'd be challenging Din every time I see him. I'm like, yo, let's try again here.
Being a
I
constant
remember.
threat.
Wasn't he just like, hey, take this? She was like, no, we have to fight to the death. And he was like, I don't want to die and I don't want to kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just take this. Like,
Oh, or I guess he has to agree to it, right? Because
Yeah.
the armor was
Because he
like,
doesn't
dude,
wanna
agree to this
die.
duel. Yeah. Okay. Look
Yeah.
at that.
Which weird how he's like stuck up on the helmet thing and has to redeem himself that way. But like as soon as he was presented with the Darksaber, he's like, nah, just take it off my hands, right? Like
Because that
I don't
part's
want
not
that
in his
smoke.
religion.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I totally get that. Like I'd probably be challenging him too, but at the same time, I feel like we're seeing like a much different Bo-Katan than we've ever seen before. Like a lot more of a jaded Bo-Katan, of like a Bo-Katan who has nothing to necessarily lose, which I think we're kind of setting her up to be a great villain for a great antagonist for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm being 100% serious with this. It did like kind of remind me of Loki from Thor Dark World, like when he's in the jail and he's just like he has
yeah.
nothing to lose and
Mhm.
everything to gain, and so he's just like a mess mentally. And I feel like
Right.
that Bo-Katan's like the same way. Like she has pretty much lost everything, so she has
Yeah.
nothing to lose with whatever she wants to try next.
Right.
Yeah, I can see
And
that.
her, just sending him away, just being like, all right, well, like this is your thing to do. You already like kind of screwed me over. My people are gone. Uh, you know, goodbye, Din Djarin. And she says his name very menacingly at the end,
Mhm.
which I think we're, my God, I think we're setting up a good rest of the season. And with that, I want to ask you guys, where do you think we're gonna go from here?
Mm.
Oh, that's a great question.
And maybe this is like a strength of the show because I still don't like know largely, but like you got like there's so many like because they said what 4 seasons is kind of what they're aiming for with this show. Somebody said that.
They had that, but there was another John Favreau. They're on the circuit tour of
Dude,
promoting the show right now.
that 2 year quote, I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, man.
This press tour is kicking their ass, man.
I
Yeah,
was like, wow, all right.
there was that. There was like the 2 years, between the like 2 years he was with Luke and like
Oh,
years
yeah.
between season 1 and 2. Then John Favreau and Dave Filoni were also like, we don't necessarily have an end goal in mind. Like the finale hasn't been thought of, like the series finale, in which people were like, oh, that's just Disney being Disney. They're just gonna milk this for 45 seasons, which honestly, give me 45
Yeah.
seasons of fucking Pedro Pascal and Grogu. Are you kidding me? And then there's the one today of like, he was like, maybe Salacious Crumb didn't die in Jabba's barn. And I was like, dude, what are you doing right now, man?
He said that for real.
Yeah, he said that for real. And it's
Oh
like,
my
this
gosh.
this is the most unhinged, like just Star Wars nerds just on a media circuit right now promoting this show. And I fucking love it, dude.
They said we can and will put anyone in a back to tank.
Yeah. I mean, they
my
brought
gosh.
back Max Rebo just to blow him
Yeah.
up again, and it's still I
I
can
thought
see
they
David,
said he wasn't in there. Or,
Yeah, he wasn't in there when they blew it up.
Yeah, it was his day
right
off.
again, and they're like, he's still around. We could just bring back these like puppets whenever we want to, dude, and I'm here for it. But yeah, what were you gonna say with just the how long they're gonna go with the show and what we're building up?
yeah, kind of like it's not like a huge concern yet, but kind of like to go off of what Jordan said at the beginning. Like, I just don't know what they're gonna do with all these different like plot threads. Like, like when I think of like the whole Jedi Force plot thread, like that's never gonna go away because of Grogu's like abilities. So how do they handle that? Or is it handled already when he chose the chainmail over the lightsaber? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of curious because I do like the like adventure of the week kind of vibe, but like I would like some purpose because it's like because he let's say he does a swan dive into the lakes of Mandalore or whatever, and he's doing some laps, some breaststrokes, and then he's like, all right, I'm good, and then it's like the end. It's like, well, like like we need some purpose, I feel like, with this show. But I'm down for the week, every week. It's because it's fun and well made. So
Well, that's like right now, like kind of the main goal. But before he's even going to Mandalore, he wants to get IG-11 back up and running. So like the main goal for now, at least, is getting that like memory chip or whatever that part was.
Yeah, but I'm tired of that. I'm like, why don't you just fly to Mandalore and check out yourself? Like,
yeah, I do agree.
Like,
doesn't your helmet poisonous?
Doesn't your helmet like filtrate a little bit, or like you can't just like fly, look at the atmosphere, and then go back home? And like, it's just like so many like obstacles, man. I don't know.
Build a filter into your helmet.
Yeah,
a gas mask or something.
But he'd have to take it off to do that, and apparently he's not allowed.
Yeah, he can take it off by himself.
Just not in front of people. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting.
Man, you can't eat pizza with the boys and watch a movie, man. That's sort of like
that is totally not the way.
Not the way.
I mean, we saw him last season. Just did the little crack, the little tilt up. Just eat. Yeah. But Jordan, Alec, where y'all thinking we're gonna go the rest of the season?
That's a tough one. Like for me, I think the way the show has started off, like with the hints we got from season 2, and that we got, I know it's kind of building Ahsoka off her on her own show, but I think we're gonna start to see these shows kind of meld a bit closer together. One of my big predictions for this season, I think we're gonna get Sabine Wren in this show.
Sir.
Which she's one of the main characters of Rebels if people haven't watched that show. But honestly, like, I really don't know where the season's heading. Like, I know probably eventually it's going to be Mandalore, but like Brett was saying, like, once he does that, like, is he just going to be a bounty hunter? Going to go back to doing bounties?
They did touch on, I feel like this was, I don't know if it was around the Book of Boba Fett press or press or season 2 of Mando, but they were talking about like the Mando verse. Maybe it was like D23 or something. And so, yeah, I would maybe we get something like that where it's like, yeah, Ahsoka leans into it. And what other shows do they have announced? I can't remember. Lando. When they announced Lando and they're like, we don't even know if we're getting Donald Glover. It's like, what? You just announced a show. What are you going to do?
If Mando is like, I need a crew to come with me to the ruins of Mandalore, and he gets Lando on board, and he's
Lando is old and crusty at this point. Or no, this is Return of the Jedi. So
yeah,
we could honestly probably just do Donald Glover again. Maybe a couple grays in the hair. Give him the. We know that the Millennium Falcon bounces around a bit to where it's owned by Simon Pegg's greebly old character in Force Awakens, but maybe Lando has it back for a little bit, and he's like, yeah, here's this robot ship that I used to fuck. We can take you to Mandalore, dude. That would, oh my god, dude, what a premise.
Oh man,
Jordan, any thoughts, any big predictions for the rest of the season?
So I don't really know if I'm gonna like what I could predict, because like I said, I'm not like you guys, or I haven't seen Clone Wars or Rebels yet, but I do, you guys and other friends of mine have kind of given me like the basic history of like Mandalore as a planet has just been obliterated. It's kind of not what it used to be.
Right.
As for what I'd like to see, while I don't necessarily care whether or not Bo-Katan ends up being an ally or an antagonist, or if it's an antagonist that he befriends at the end, I would like to see her have enough of an influence on him that he realizes he doesn't need to be part of like this weird zealot part of these Mandalorians that say you can never take off your armor. I think that it would show him a lot of growth, and it seems that restricts him so much in a lot of ways. And weirdly enough, I also want to see some like development of Grogu. If I know he doesn't really talk, so we can't do character development quite yet, but I don't want to see him just kind of be like the Pikachu of this show, where they're like, hey, he's cute and he's here for marketing forever. Like, we know that his species ages at some point, and apparently, Jon Favreau can just decide what the timeline is. I would like to see, at least a little bit of a transition where, like, right now, what you compare him to maybe like a 2-year-old or 3-year-old. Let's see if we could bump him up to like what humans would consider like a 4 or 5-year-old. He's talking a little bit. He's got a little bit more of a personality,
Right. Yeah. That's a good point, because it's like, okay, how old was Yoda? 800, 900 when he died?
900, I think.
Yeah, something like
900. Yeah, again, I don't know how it like translates to human age, but he's clearly still like a toddler, right? And so I wonder what they're going to do with this show, with this character, beyond him cooing and like, because he can't show up. It's not like Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's like he shows up next and he's playing on a Game Boy or something, like,
right.
But is he gonna coo and fart and stuff like the whole show? like
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I took away after watching this episode was like, oh shit, we got probably, I'd say, anywhere from like 60 to 75% of the trailer shots out of the way already. Like we got a good amount of it just gone in the first episode, which that's always a sign of like, oh shit, like shit's about to go down going forward if like trailer shots are already for the most part out of the way. We know there's probably going to be some more Mandalore infighting. We're going to go to Coruscant at some point, catch up on the scientist dude, right? But
Sam Wessel cameo.
possibly. Maybe we'll see what's going on with Snoke or whatever.
I was watching Mandalorian. I was catching up with Mandalorian, and I was watching it with my dad, and he made this pull, and I didn't even think about it, but I was like, oh my gosh, sorta. But when Fennec shows up, he's like, oh, that kind of looks like that person from he barely vaguely described it, but like Sam Wessel's like kind of helmet, like scope, like stuff, like in gun. I was like, no, that's not Sam Wessel. I was like, they kind of look similar though. So I was like, I don't know, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I like just our end goal is eventually the ruins of Mandalore, and then of course, shit's probably gonna go down there, and we're gonna have some setup for season 4. Getting a crew together, like I'm interested to see who we go around. If we go back to the Boba Fett Fennec Shand connection. We're looking for a robot we can trust. We know Timothy Oliphant's probably like half robot, half a little bit cyborg human at this point. Maybe we go get our corn on the cob, right? Take him to Mandalore, right?
Dude, rewatching the show, he's so awesome. Like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, but
yeah, from his intro to like him going down at the hands of Cad Bane and Book of Boba Fett, all that's chef's kiss. So
do we bring back what's his name? Bill Burr?
Honestly, I hope so.
Yeah. Again, kind of like with the IG-11 thing, I'm like, are they going to go back to the same like 5 people in the galaxy every time?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Bill Burr is less of a stretch than IG-11 because it's like IG-11 blew up like 10 years ago. How are you going to repair him and make him the exact same like guy? Yeah. But Bill Burr could be brought back, but like man, it felt like he was like, hey, you're free now. Like you have a new lease on life. Like go do your thing. But yeah, I don't know.
It's just crazy to me that you can hotwire a droid to just after they're blown to bits. Their own self-destruct sequence.
Yeah.
At the very least, though, I hope we if he's not back for like an entire episode, I would like to have like a run-in with Bill Burr's character, see what he's up to, because like I find him to be, I think, one of the more compelling characters of the show. Like his sense of morality, the stuff he's been through, like it's just so interesting as a character.
Yeah. And especially like someone who's like a formal Empire soldier, I think if anyone understands redemption and can, help them like along this journey, I think like it would be him. But yeah, I hope we do expand, the scope of our crew, a little bit here. We get some new honestly, just give me some like Mandalore, like some Mandalorians with just like named Mandalorian characters that we like now ride along with, right?
Yeah, I mean, we see that shot in the trailer of Din Djarin like walking out of that cave with a few Mandalorians behind him. So,
right, which
that could happen.
That I don't think was in this episode right now. And I remember on the Star Awards, a great episode that y'all should check out if you haven't already. I predicted, that's when Sabine Wren is going to show up and we're going to walk out and greet her there. And yeah, I hope for some sort of like Mandalore infighting, right? And like we're all fractured. Maybe Bo-Katan's like, all right, well, like let me be the one to put it all together. And there's some clan, some cult infighting between Mandalorians there while we try to get to the actual ruins of Mandalore. Just we know we do see him drop out of the ship. Give it to me, Alec.
Okay. You thought about the Civil War, like the fighting of the cult and Bo-Katan's like crew.
Yeah.
Final battle on Mandalore for the Darksaber.
Ooh. Now, do we go Bo-Katan, Din? Then we make it interesting. Moff Gideon might be trying to get it again. Maybe Sabine Wren wants it herself, dude. Do a 4-way battle for it.
Or do you think it's more like a war between Bo-Katan's people and the crew that Din is from, where it's not necessarily like, oh, we're fighting, but it's like it's a battle.
I think
Or
so, yeah.
a thought I just had. Both parties know, both the Armorer and Bo-Katan know that he wants to go back to Mandalore. And what if he somehow gets enough evidence to like tell both that's like, hey, Mandalore is fine, it's not poisonous.
Right.
So they both go there to try and reclaim it. And so Mando's crew is stuck in the middle of this war.
Oh,
interesting. And then he has to start flashing that thing around and bringing rule to it, even though that's something like he doesn't necessarily want to do. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So many different ways this season could go. But, to find out, we're just going to have to come back here every week and talk about it, dude. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I can't wait. What are we looking for? 9 episodes? 8 episodes?
I think 8, right?
8?
It was 8 for
I
seasons
have no
1 and
idea.
2.
Perfect. I'm here for it. We're here for it the next 8 weeks. So we'd love to have you along that journey, and you can join that journey by subscribing, watching weekly, and commenting down below, letting us know what you thought of not the book of Boba Fett, the book of Mandalore,
Book
the
of Din
Mandalorian, the book of Din Djarin. Yeah, let us know.
The manual of Mando.
I love it, dude. I love it. Let us know what you thought of this episode down below, and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will see you at the next. This is the Waypoint. For now, this is the way.
It's the way.
This is the way.